Kaizer Chiefs signed a lot of players this past transfer window. And if I asked any Kaizer Chiefs fan right now, who do you think is the most or has been the most important signing by Kaizer Chiefs? Some will say, without a doubt, Edson Castillo. And I'm one of those people. And yes, some will say Sibongiseni Mthethwa, and some will say giving him Simang. But at this point, personally, I think Edson Castillo is the most important signing by Kaizer Chiefs. However, Kaizer Chiefs are facing a risk of losing him. And we're going to talk about why that is the case, the 4 reasons why this is problematic, and some solutions into solving this problem. Hello and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Amakosi Football Club. So, I am saying this because Edson Castillo has come to Kaizer Chiefs. He has scored 3 goals, he has had 1 assist, and if the system was better set up to accommodate him, he would have scored more. But if there are scouts knowing that Kaizer Chiefs is a very big team, and there are a lot of scouts that are looking at Kaizer Chiefs and who is performing, it would be clear that one of the players who would have been a standout player by now would be Edson Castillo. And I'm sure there are people who are already saying, watch out for that player. And now with him starting to be on the bench a lot these past few games, then that might also trigger that thing in him that, hey, I know how good I am. Why am I sitting on the bench? Why am I sitting on the bench? And the first reason why he's sitting on the bench, we're going to talk about it in a moment. But once he starts thinking about that, he might start wanting to look elsewhere. And if there's someone elsewhere who's looking for him and is looking for them, well, then that's where you have a transfer, and Edson Castillo is gone from Kaizer Chiefs. Just like that. Why is Castillo being benched? The first reason is Yousef Mat. And I know that some people still hold the belief that Edson Castillo is a defensive midfielder. But watch him play. Watch the game of Yousef Mat, watch the game of Castillo, watch the game of Sibongiseni Mthethwa. Sibongiseni Mthethwa is the proper 6 that Kaizer Chiefs has. Like the defensive midfield, like the traditional defensive midfield. If you look at Castillo and Mat, both of them are the players who are similar because they are both box-to-box players. But if you look at Castillo, in his box-to-box duties, he also scores goals. But with Mat, yes, he has 2 assists this season. Castillo has 1. Castillo also has goals in him. And the reason why Mat will also be getting assist, one, he has played more than Castillo because one of the goals that he assisted, Castillo was sitting on the bench. So there is also that factor that, yes, Mat will give assist, but Castillo will also give goals on top of the assist that he will be giving. Yet Mat is preferred ahead of him. And it comes down to this. I have said this and I said this on Twitter. I will say this again. Yousef Mat is a really good player, but Castillo is just better. That's just as simple as it is. Edson Castillo is better than Yousef Mat because of what he can bring. He has everything that Mat has, just that he adds more to it. However, obviously, because Mat is a hard worker, and it's clear that they see some leadership qualities in him because they have not only made him a starter ahead of Castillo, but they've also given him the armband. Now that Peterson is on the sidelines, Kuhn has been stripped of the captaincy. Now Yousef Mat is the main man, and they are not going to bench Yousef Mat in favor of Edson Castillo, which would obviously go ahead and make things worse for Castillo and how he sees himself. Number 2 is the personnel that we already have in that midfield. As I said, you look at Mthethwa is the proper 6. Mart is the 8 and the leader, the workaholic, the hardworking. And then number 10 is Umshini, the creative one. And yes, Castillo can play as a 10, but I would be lying if I said I think he's as creative as Umshini. Also, I would say this, I've not seen him being played as a 10 in a way that would allow him to create those chances, because I do believe that he can create chances. He has created chances. However, the problem is he has not really shown that. What we have seen from him is more of a number 8 kind of thing and not necessarily a 10. I would love to see him being tried there, but right now it's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen because of reason number 3, the chemistry. Against Swallows, people started talking about how the midfield of Mat, Mthethwa, and Mart, they understand each other. And it got me thinking, could it also have to do with language? Because Castillo doesn't speak English, we know that. Or even if he does speak some English, it's not as good as, like with the other players at Kaizer Chiefs. Is their language, their English speaking abilities is nagimi. I'm running out of English bundles. Anyways, I do think that the chemistry and the understanding that the other three already have, it's not the same as the chemistry that he, Mart, and Mtetwa have. And because of that, the coach might think, you know what, it's not broken, so let's not fix it. And once again, it makes him feel like an outsider and it makes him want to have a move elsewhere. And someone will ask, Mpilo, why not just change the system? You yourself have spoken about the change of a system. The problem with changing the system is that if you are going to play Castillo, Mteto as a 6, Mart as the 8, Castillo as another 8, and then Ngobo as a 10. The problem with that is that now you are going to have 2 strikers, and the Chiefs plays with 3 forwards, which would be Ranga as a 9, and then when Dupri comes back as a winger, either right or left, and then on the other wing it's Modi. Now, if you're going to switch to 4-4-2, that means you're going to play Ranga and who? And Dupri, which means you are now going to bench Upule Modi, the same Pule Modi who has kind of been offering Kaizer Chiefs some of the good stuff that like in the recent game, he's the one who scored a goal. And obviously he does have goals in him. He has scored, like, I think he has 4 or 5 goals now this season. So he is a goal scorer. And someone will say, Vele Ranga is not even scoring. Why play him? But now you have a problem that you are going to play 2 players out of position, because yes, Dupri can play as a number 9, but I don't think it's his preferred position either. He can do it, but now you are taking Modi again and you are playing him as a number 9, which means 2 players are being played out of position. Even if you do that with Saile, we've seen Saile playing as a number 9 over and over again. It just hasn't worked. So changing the system into that 4-4-2, it just doesn't work, and that's a problem that Kaizer Chiefs cannot deal with. Another problem that I cannot deal with is people who have watched the video for such a long time and they've not subscribed. What are you waiting for? Do subscribe. Helps me reach more people like you. Come on. We are very close to reaching 20,000. Let's go. Right. Now, let's also talk about the solutions now. And there are 3 of them. The first one is the easiest but the most ridiculous maybe, or the most unlikely, which is bench Mat and put in Castillo. That's the thing. Castillo is better, Mat is good, but Castillo is better. Boom. That's not going to happen though. Solution number 2, and we talked about this with Umandla on WhatsApp. We're talking about the fact that looking at Kaizer Chiefs right now, the strikers are struggling. They are not scoring goals. But during the derby, they experimented and played with Castillo as a number 9. And in that case, he even got a header in and almost scored. And we know that with his head, he's very good in heading. And his goals that he has scored, I think 2 of them, he scored them with his head. So I do think that, and aerially, he scored against Sundowns as well. Oh, I forgot the Sundowns goal. There was a Sundowns goal. There was the Cape Town City's goal. There was a goal against the Sekukun. I don't know if I'm missing one or it's those 3 goals. But he's good with his head, and playing him as a number 9, given that our strikers are struggling right now, could help. And also not as a number 9, but more like a false 9, because Vele, that's exactly what they are doing with our strikers. The problem is they are not mobile enough to do, or kind of do the thing and play as a false 9, go into midfield, bring the other guys into play, and then make a light run into the box, which is what he's already been doing. So that's another possible thing that Chiefs can look at doing. Is it possible? Do let me know. And also, from the solutions, you will also tell me which solution you think can actually help. How can we fit Edson Castillo in our squad? And yes, I know most of you are thinking benchmark, but let's just establish ukuthi that's one of the most difficult solutions to do. So nizongitshela kuma comments ukuthi what else. And then solution number 3 is kind of a rebuttal to the point that I made before, which is changing the system in game. Now, we're not talking about Chiefs playing 4-4-2 diamond all the time, ne? Because when we're playing 4-4-2 diamond, we're going to have Umteto as a 6, have Castillo and Mart as a man number 8, and a 10 being Kosing Pilengop. Ne? So they play like that, and you have all these players that you want to play, and then up front you play Uranga, not Dupre. Ne? Those are your two players. Now we know that Dupre can always drop into midfield and add numbers, and can also, if it's Ranga dropping, then they play the ball to Dupre, then Dupre has a 1v1 with the keeper and all of that good stuff. Ne? That works. So second half, you can then change the system in the name of being unpredictable. Second half, you change the system. Now, maybe one of your midfielders or both of them are tired. You take one of them out. Now, all of a sudden, you are playing wingers. Now, you are injecting pace into the game. And that would play into the hands of Kaizer Chiefs, really. Because think about it. Second half, you could make a change of Ranga, take Ranga out, then play Dupre as the number 9. And then, once you do that, you can then bring on Modi on the right, bring on Saile bring on Modi on the left, bring on Saile on the right, take out one of the midfielders. Now you just have pace all over. First half is about controlling position and trying to create chances from the middle because we have midfield overload. And then if they can handle that, second half we're bringing back the 4-3-3 and we're bringing Saile, who's very fast. We're bringing in Modi on the left, who's also very fast. But still through the middle, we still have Dupre, who's still very quick. So to me, that is the most likely solution personally that I'm looking at and thinking could work. But that's just me. What do you think about this whole situation? Let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoya.